Hey, what's up? It is the first week of January, and that means we need to mold some crappie jigs, huh, buddy? My co-pilot Eli with me, so let's go have a good day.
Come on, everybody.
Yep, just like that. All right, Protect Chartreuse. That is a pretty slick looking ice house by Clam. Too bad we don't get any hard water around here to speak of, so we can't fish it. What are you doing in there? All right, Killer, let's roll. And this by far is not the most technical setup for doing this. This is kind of the down and dirty. It's just what I got. So that's
Are you
what we're
saying
gonna use.
that's not technical?
No, listen, this is high powered. All right. this is where all the most common problem people have when they're starting out, if they have any issues with this, there's one of two mistakes they make. They either try to mold when their mold is too cold, or you say, oh, this is really black inside here. This is just candle soot. If you put candle soot on the inside of your the inside of your mold like that, it's like using wax or a mold release. And it'll help keep the jigs from sticking. They'll pop right out for you. You won't have any troubles. So I'm gonna put a little bit more lead in here. We'll let everything come up to temp. I'll kind of show you how I bring the mold up to temp a little bit, and then we'll just get started, and then we'll paint up some jig heads. And oh, hey, here's another thing. For everybody that's gonna get really upset that I'm molding lead inside my house. Got fans on, the windows cracked, the doors open. Ideally, I would like to do this outside, but it's like, what, 10 degrees outside right now?
It's a little cold.
And while I do have enough burner to be able to get the lead hot enough to melt, I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to keep my mold warm, and I would just be chasing my tail. So give me just a minute. We'll get some more lead in the pot. We'll warm things up, and then we'll show you how we mold jigs. Pour some lead in. It doesn't take a ton. You're not throwing a whole lot. These are 1/8 ounce jig heads, so there's not a ton of lead that goes in there. Put it in, let it cool. It's pretty simple. It's not going to be super beautiful right now. We're just warming the mold up. Hold it in there. Crack your mold open. Use your pair of needle nose pliers, and then just pick them right out. That's when the mold's cold like that, they will stick. So that's what you're seeing here. Real simple. It's like arts and crafts, but with molten metal. Jigs. Lay them in here. Your mold is hot, guys. Don't burn yourself. Be halfway intelligent. If you're a gloves guy, use them. I can't hardly do anything with gloves on at all, so I will forego them and just suffer the consequences of burning my fingers throughout this process. Does anybody know a better way? Hey, let me know in the comments. Does anybody know a better way of untangling jig hooks when they come like this other than just shaking them? Is there like a patented technique for this? So, got your jig hooks laid in, hold your mold down, close it up, make sure you got it pinched. Switch hands because you're right-handed and you can't do anything with your left. And throw some mold, throw some lead. Go. Let it cool. You can watch the top. When it cools over like that, you know they're solid. Pause just a second. It does not take very long. And you got them, man. Got beautiful jig hooks ready to fish with. If you're molding a bunch of these at a time, I wouldn't get super concerned about, I'd pop them out just like that and then just let them lay there. I wouldn't get super concerned about hanging them up. This is something that they can do on bad days when the weather's bad like it is right now. You can't get out on the water, whatever the case may be, to keep them going. Something fun they can do. So I'm not going to make you watch this hundreds and hundreds of times. Well, at least 100. That's how many hooks I've got. So I'll mold some of these up, and I'll show you what it looks like when we got a gang of them done, and we will paint them up. So you gotta be careful, right? Don't fool around with this nonsense. Hey, tip when you're doing this, guys. Don't be afraid to open the spout up on your production pot and pour the lead in quickly. The quicker you get the lead in, within reason, the better your quality pour you're going to get. Your lead's not going to cool off. You're not going to get inclusions and stuff inside your pour. But don't over pour. You don't want the stuff, pouring all over, running all over the place. But those look really good. Yep. Oh, so we're getting some little funkiness here. I'll peel this one out. So we're getting some funkiness up here on the top of the eye. You can see how big of a deal that is. I literally just popped it out of the mold. You can just take it like that, grab that little bit there with your pliers, give it a little twist, and it literally pops right off. And just put it back over there in your pour pile. Okay. So I thought that the flat bottom cutter would be the better way to go. I think if you had a full-size pair instead of the mini pair, it might be the ticket, but these side cutters are working way better at cleaning these up. Just kind of inspect them. Don't get in a super big hurry. You want these to be, if you're picky like I am, you want them to look pretty good. So make sure your eye's clear. Make sure you don't have any lead spur coming out here. Make sure the spur on the top's the way you want it to look.
Move slower.
Yeah. This one looks pretty good, so I'm just gonna come in here, nip the top of that off.
I'm gonna.
So here, I'll point it down. How about
Much
that? Is that better?
Better.
This load's a little harder than I anticipated it being. This must have some tin in it. I thought this was pretty clean, but that's it, guys. So 5 down, 95 to go. Straight chartreuse jig heads. I don't know. It's just kind of probably my personal preference. I know a lot of guys around here like to use pink, orange once in a while, but I'm kind of a chartreuse guy. So that's all you do this with a heat gun. I like using a torch. It's a lot. I think it's faster than a heat gun, but you do have to be careful not to remelt your lead. Like I said, make sure your paint is fluffy. They do make. There's lots of YouTube videos out there. So if you want to do this for real and you enjoy doing it, they're called float beds, and they're a little bed of this. They have compressed air blowing through it that you put this in, and it lays on a really fine coating of this. Follow their instructions. So you apply it with some heat, and then if you want to cure it in the oven, you can bake these at 350 degrees. Word to the wise. If you do that, make sure that you lay aluminum foil down on the rack below the rack that you lay all these up on, because if you have too much paint on there, it will drip. And then on the inside of your wife's oven, you will have all of these little chartreuse and orange and hot pink globules of paint burnt onto the bottom of her oven. And it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. So cover it with foil, put it below. If you have started here, I'll crack this on real quick. It doesn't take a ton of flame. This is just a standard plumber's torch on a bottle of propane. Grab your jig, put it in your needle nose pliers, heat it up a little bit, just get it warm, and set it in your paint. Knock the excess off, just like that. The paint, if it's not smooth, if it looks funky, reheat it again. Don't dip it back in the paint. And then I always like to punch my eyes out right now. A lot of people will wait to do that. That's the nice thing about the float bed, is it doesn't put on as much paint as this. So I'll leave one of my hooks aside, that way the eyes stay nice and clear, and then just bring them over here on the rack and drop them off, go to the next one. I'm gonna do my best to not to get so much paint on this next one, but it doesn't take a ton of heat. Just put it up there, warm it up, pass it through the heat on both sides a couple times, and then just lay it in the paint. There we go, nice and easy, just like that. You can see how the heat takes it all nice and smooth. Looks pretty good. They're not this one's not perfect by any means, but I don't think the crappie that's gonna bite that one's gonna care. That's not a picky fish bait. And just pick that eye out. I would not advise waiting until this is cured. I definitely, if you're gonna bake these in the oven and harden them off, I definitely would make sure your eyes are clear before that. Otherwise, what you have to do and this is from experience, if you don't punch your eyes until you baked it in the oven, you're gonna have to take this hook or a needle. You're gonna have to heat this up every single time and then drive it through there when these are hot. And that is just a not fun day. So make sure your eyes are clean before you cure them. I'm gonna run through the rest of these real quick, get these all done, and then we're gonna see about painting some eyes on some. Like I said, I've never used this eye paint before, or this paint here. We'll see how it works out. So hold tight and we'll get there. You know, I have no idea if these make a difference. It's definitely adding a considerable amount of time, but you know, it's 8 degrees outside. None of our lakes are really frozen over enough to fish ice fishing. I know that guys are out there hammering the crappie right now, but it's cold, man, and I'm kind of a baby. So picked that up today while I was at Cabela's. Wanted to see if it would help put eyes on. I've used Sharpie, I've used other things in the past. It's going on really well. It seems to dry pretty quick. What we have to wait and find out is how tough this is gonna be. So we'll have to wait till I'm pitching these up in the rocks, trying to pull out some spawning crappie this spring. We'll see how well it holds up. But for right now, it's pretty fun. These look really good. I mean, I'm really happy with the way it's laying out. We just got to see how tough it is. It goes on really smooth. Those are like the pink ones that I've already painted. The regular chartreuse ones. I mean, if you want to put a black eye on there, just draw you a dot, flip it around, draw you a dot. We can make that a little better. There we go. And hang it up, let it dry out. So that's it. Real quick, I'll kind of count this up and give you an idea of what it costs to make 100 as compared to what it would cost to buy 100. And what I might actually do, instead of just telling you that, I'll just put it up. I'll just make a graphic at the end, let you guys see it. But yeah, this didn't cost very much. I think this entire jar was $9 there at Cabela's today. And you can, I mean, there's almost none gone. Lots of colors, orange, pink, blue, chartreuse, white, black. They have glow colors, they have glitter colors. But I'm pretty partial to the chartreuse. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.